Hello, everybody. Oh, man, I hit the wrong thing. We're off to a great start. Welcome to Frog Wrestling. I'm your host, John Jagger. We got another exciting show for you today. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy you're all here. And we're going to get right into it because just like last week, this week is packed. So for those of you who missed last week, let me just catch you up to speed. We are having a grand tournament. In fact, starting today, we're going to be having 2 grand tournaments simultaneously. The first tournament is every wrestler on the roster is participating to try and get a shot to be the person who's going to face off against me for the title in our last free preview before we move over to WWE 2K24. Going to happen in March. We'll be back in April to see how that all happens and goes down and what it looks like. But before that, we have a free preview that's going to change the landscape of everything. And right now we are building to that. And whoever wins this tournament is going to be in the main event of that. Unless, of course, I decide to let The Rock do it for some reason instead. But barring that, it's going to be one of these people, and we're going to have to start right away. Also, tonight, we're going to be doing the first round of the women's division of this. It's going to be exactly the same deal. All the orders on who's fighting who was chosen completely randomly because we had an odd number of competitors. We do have a triple threat match, but which match and which participant was going to be in the triple threat match was also randomly decided. So we will be seeing that tonight as well. That's already all been decided, but we got to get to our first match. And our first match of the night is going to be the first match in our second round from the men's tournament. Both of these competitors had their wins last week. Now they're going to see if they're going to move on. And one of them, I think, was a bit of an underdog and ended up coming out on top. The other one, I said he seems dominant, and boy, did he dominate. So let's go ahead, and for those of you that love the predictions, let's get the predictions going. We are going to have Patrick Beja going up against Vorel, Rasvim, Kurik as our opening match here tonight. Let's go ahead and get the match loading. Predictions are up. You can start spending your hard-earned space points. Gwenifeer, thank you for the sub as we get into this. Also, I saw another sub. It's blocked currently. I can't see who did it. I'll give you a shout out as soon as this prediction thing disappears. Let's get to it. All right, our first match, Patrick Beja versus Vorel, Rasvim, Kurik. Now, last week, I called Patrick an underdog in this match. I said I don't think he stands a very good chance. Jarkid Draken, thank you for the sub. I see you now. That is the name I saw. Thank you for no need to give you a shout out. I'm giving you one anyway. Thanks for subbing. Patrick was definitely an underdog. And he came out on top. He was going up against Diane Tallis and former champion Scott Johnson. He was the triple threat match of the men's bracket. I said don't count him out. A lot of people did because I remember the voting for that. And you know what? Patrick pulled it off. But I would also say he is the underdog here today because he is going up against Vorel. And Vorel is an intimidating, terrifying foe. He's gigantic. One punch from Vorel is enough to level a mere mortal. And Vorel went up against Garrett last week, and I thought Garrett was, you know, a contender to possibly win this entire tournament. And Vorel beat him. Not only did he beat him, crushed it. It was an extremely short-lived match. So do not count out Vorel. And do not count out Patrick. Both of them can surprise you. Right now, points certainly favoring Patrick.
and he's about to get one.
There Will Be Dungeons crew typically only show up for special occasions, but they are certainly making names for themselves recently. And we're going to see if that continues. And right out of the gate, we can see the size difference. Vorel much bigger, but Patrick using the momentum, being very technical, and going to methodically go after Vorel here. And he's got to be defensive. We can see that right now. He knows if Vorel gets you, it's going to hurt. Just like that. And Vorel here is a monster, and you can see just a punch, just a couple moves, and Patrick went from in good control of the match to laid out on the floor. He does find a little strength, though. Will he be able to turn this into momentum? That's what we need to figure out. Patrick has been playing Tekken. Typically, he trains in Street Fighter, but Tekken has come out.
What are they doing here?
He's getting a lot of practice. We're seeing him methodically going after the arm.
He's feeling the effects of that last hit. Bullseye.
You know, if Patrick wins this, maybe all this time in Tekken has resulted in an awakening of his devil gene, which I don't know much about, but Brian Cox in a video did tell me about the devil gene, and it's apparently serious business. A huge slam, and gets a 2 count.
What a match.
Once again, a testament to the strength of Vorel, that one maneuver nearly gets him a victory. You gotta be careful, you gotta be ready for him. And just a series of blows, and Patrick is down on the floor. Absolutely getting crushed at the moment. And Patrick decides to give himself a break. Definitely needed it. Tried to get in on Vorel while he was on the outside. Made to pay for it a little bit. And right on the ground. Vorel not having any of this.
He's not going to be able to pull this off, is he?
Just lifting him up and dropping him back down. Patrick's not giving up yet, though. Throws Vorel into the barricade. Gets him up, drops him on it. Leveraging these offensive tricks that deal a lot more damage than a simple punch or a kick, but are still legal within the realm of the match. Not illegal to throw your opponent into the barricade. Not illegal to drop him on it. And Patrick has him up. A huge power bomb. Pins him. Gets a 2 count. First I thought Vorel's legs might be on the ropes, but they were actually just between them. That's allowed. Patrick trying to celebrate a victory he hasn't gotten yet. Needs to be careful. He's certainly building momentum. And Vorel back up to his feet. Patrick keeping control. Keeping his cool. Oh, but a reversal from Vorel. Patrick up. Dropped right back down. Oh, and Vorel has him. Gets him up. A huge choke slam. And Patrick manages to kick out of it. I thought that would have done Patrick in. They're certainly throwing everything they can think of at one another. Both have fought through the best shot that the other could give and are still standing. That's how you know they want it. A big boot. Patrick down on the ground, trying to find life. But Vorel says it's over. Oh, Patrick fighting back. Series of jabs. Gets out of it. Patrick just watching. He's got him in. Is he gonna tap? Is it? He could tap, he could pass out. A lot of things could happen here. We're gonna have to see what happens. No, it looks like Vorel is fighting back. No tap, no pass out. He is back on his feet. And those are two great attempts from Patrick to put Vorel away. But Patrick still has yet to put down the lizard. What will it take? We are about to find out. A huge reversal from Patrick. And Patrick has him up. There's a pin. And he gets it. Patrick Beja moving on.
Now let's get another look at some of the high points of that one.
I don't know if it was a case of you all just had great faith. Patrick definitely the favorite to win. But it certainly looked questionable for a while there. So Patrick is going to be moving on. We will be determining who his opponent is going to be later tonight. We will have to wait and see. But Patrick, I told you, he's training. He's playing Tekken. He's playing Street Fighter. He's training his body. It's becoming a deadly weapon. Don't count him out. And with that match down, we are going to move to our first match of the women's tournament, which is going to be a big one. Again, keep in mind the everybody on this was determined, their slot, where they appeared, who they fought, all completely random. No actual predictions made in this case. And we are going to have to see what we have up first. It looks like it is going to be, hold on, assuming I can do the right thing here. There we go. It looks like we are going to have Kristen versus Carter Johnson for our opening match on this side. So let me go ahead and get the predictions going. You have 5 minutes to mull that one over. Decide where your points should best be spent. Kristen, obviously, has to be said, would be the heavy favorite. That doesn't always guarantee a victory. But Kristen is a long-time title holder. She is not the current Frog Wrestling Women's Champion, but she did hold the title for a very long time. Kristen is not one you easily count out. And with absolutely good reason. In almost any situation where Kristen can become a front runner for the title, she has done so. I think probably the worst she has ever done in a tournament or a match type was when it was random rules and she lost a ladder match. Big Bad Kristen, again, her record speaks for itself. She was the first women's Frog Wrestling champion. Defended the title multiple times. Eventually lost it to the current champion, Dearest Martha, although it has also been held by Jocelyn Kearney and Kim Johnson as well. All of them will be competing to try to get an opportunity to win it back. And right now, taking a look at the points, it looks like Kristen is by far the favorite to win, both in terms of the amount of votes and the points backing her. But that could be a big payout for those of you supporting Carter. Now, Kristen is going to be going up against Carter Johnson. And Carter Johnson has been an astounding performer since she showed up in Frog Wrestling. She has had a hard time making a name for herself. She is certainly a fan favorite, though. Carter is definitely a strong competitor. I don't think you should count her out at all. We are underway. Right out of the gate, Carter going aggressive, not a surprise. Aggression seems to be a good answer, although Kristen, showing her power, just took a blow and said that's not going to be enough.
Just deadlifting right there, the power. Superhuman. She shoots up the top rope. Dangerous thinking. She's getting back up, but she might be down again soon. From way up, down. And the cover.
And Kristen just in control at the moment.
Somehow she's still in this matchup.
Again, she really just shows all of her strength, all of her ability. Carter looking for an opening, manages to get a good reversal, and there's those quick kicks. Kristen is definitely the more powerful, but Carter has agility and speed and is currently using it to her advantage. This is a huge opportunity. If anybody puts Kristen away early in this tournament, they have to immediately become a favorite to win. And Carter off the top rope. Now looking to leverage that momentum. Although, not sure what she was going with there. Seemed like she wanted to make something happen. Didn't quite make it happen. Now going after Kristen again. There it is. Man. And those kicks. Just vicious kicks to have to look out from. Although a reversal. And now Kristen back in control. A big headbutt. And a little brutality from Kristen.
something else.
Kristen sends Carter over to the corner. Looks like she's got something planned, tying her up. Leaving her vulnerable, but a good reversal from Carter. Saw it coming.
Picking up speed. Penalty kick.
And Carter back in control here. Trying to set the stage for something impressive here. She's running the corners. Ref nearly gets in the way, but boot does find face. Kristen not phased enough. It is going to take more than that to put down the former champ. Oh my goodness, and that could be it. No, only gets a 2 count. Carter is shocked. Carter heading back to the top. High risk. And Kristen is hurting. Carter building up great momentum here, though. No. No sooner did I say it than Kristen with a good reversal. Now Kristen has Carter up. There it is, the big bad drop. And the pin. No, Carter kicking out at 2. Surviving the big bad drop. Showing she's still got fight in her. And Kristen seems shocked, but she is not letting up. And it is all Kristen at the moment, but you absolutely have to admire the fight that Carter is putting up here. Oh, reversal. Nope. And another one. Kristen back in control, still in control. Still vying for who's going to get the other. Kristen up. And that could be it. No, another 2 count. Only a 2. Kristen somehow stays alive, stays in the match. And Carter, oh my goodness, from the top, all the way to the outside, all the way onto the ground. Carter wants this badly, and she is inches from getting it. A victory over Kristen. Can she finish the deal?
She hit the corner hard.
Carter once again running the length of the arena. Here comes a huge boot. Kristen down. A counter though. Kristen's not ready to give up yet.
What a match. What a match.
Going for another pin. Only gets a 1. Carter hanging in there, trying to stay alive. Kristen going for a second big bad drop. She lands it. And Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch again. Interfering. And I don't know what Becky Lynch is doing, but Carter gets a chance to roll up. Kristen gets a 2 count. Kristen manages to escape, but Carter has her up. A 3rd kick. And there's your victory. I don't know what Kristen did to anger so many WWE superstars, but it has continued. And Kristen is out in the first round as Becky Lynch definitely picks up the assist.
to them for not letting the distractions get to them. They're tuning out the noise and getting the job done.
If anything, the distraction work is the perfect motivation to get them into gear. I don't hear a thank you, though.
Corey, I just don't get how your mind
This
works sometimes.
was a huge victory for Carter. Carter moving on to the next round. We are going to have to see what happens, and says everything you need to know right there in chat. I think that this is crazy. Kristen clearly angering someone over in WWE, because I'm shocked at how often they interfere in her matches. I don't know what's going on with the AI there. Something's going on. We are going to be heading back over to the men's brackets now, as we are going to find out who will be facing Patrick. But we have a pretty interesting match here, I think, before we get there. Because last week, Bo Schwartz faced off against Brian Dunaway. And Core Red, Brian Dunaway, came out on top. However, that was not the only Core Red match. Tom Merritt went up against Kyle Ferguson, and Tom Merritt was successful, which means we now find ourselves in a extremely interesting situation. We have Core Red, Brian Dunaway, versus Core Red, Tom Merritt. They are going to have to fight to see who goes to the next round. Either way, it's going to be Core Red. You could certainly say it's good for them either way. Good for what Scott is trying to do with Core Red. And we will have to see how that goes. Prediction is up if you want to cast your vote on which Core Red member is going to win. Now keep in mind, Tom Merritt does hold the Money in the Bank briefcase. He can create a title match at any time or add himself to any title match that he likes. So even if Tom Merritt were to lose today, he could put himself in the main event if he so chose.
Making his way to the ring, representing the Core from South Carolina, weighing in.
And right now, chat room voting for a double loss. Core Red continuing to frustrate and anger the crowd. Brian Dunaway certainly didn't do himself any favors, eliminating fan favorite Bo Schwartz last week. Of course, that would have also led to an awkward Core Blue versus Core Blue main event if Bo were to make it all the way to the end. There were 3 members of Core Red that could have potentially gotten a title shot. Scott was eliminated in the first round. Now, our second member of Core Red is going to be for sure eliminated here tonight, which means Core Red's hopes really only land on one person at this stage, and it's going to be whoever wins this match.
Yeah, that's kind of grim. You can't really tell, but I think they kind of enjoy hurting others.
Right now, the points seem to be favoring Brian Dunaway. Not a surprise. Dunaway definitely underappreciated. Has won a lot of huge matches. His match against Bo was a big victory for him. Don't count him out, but Tom Merritt, he spent a lot of time leading the Mod Syndicate, not as much time actually wrestling, and I think as a result, people tend to forget how good he is.
This superstar is quite
I think people see Tom Merritt and they go, that man's a manager. And then he gets in the ring, and he does an amazing job, and everybody goes, oh, maybe we were wrong. Right now, both of them flying at each other, miss. Certainly kind of curious what kind of match were we going to see here today. So far, it's off to, you know, a physical match, but respectful thus far. And Tom Merritt going for an early submission hold. Dunaway manages to get free, fighting back. Off the top rope, lands it. It's the middle rope, technically. A stickler for details. Dunaway finding a way back in control of this match. I said it was respectful, but the way Dunaway's going at it, that might be changing. Tom Merritt senses it. He goes low. Dunaway goes high. They both miss. Tom Merritt. Absolutely shocking display of athleticism from ace to technical himself. Puts him back in control of the match. Tom Merritt daring Dunaway to get up. Dunaway says, all right, I don't know what. Just agility. Absolute agility from Brian Dunaway on display here. Merritt getting back in control, finding a way to keep fighting. Heads outside of the ring. Dunaway waiting for him, though. And not only are they on the outside, he now has a submission hold. He can't win out there, but he can create a count out. You can wear your opponent down out there. Tom Merritt dealing a lot of pain outside of the ring. Just daring Dunaway to get up and just repeated headshots. Tom absolutely focusing on Dunaway's head and face, his neck. I actually think Dunaway might be busted open right now and bleeding. Anybody that thought Tom was going to go easy on him, you have not been watching. And they're up to 7. Tom Merritt dives into the ring with 8. And it looks like Tom Merritt might be going for a count-out victory. And Tom Merritt and Brian Dunaway immediately pops too. Now I'm not sure what happened here at the end. I don't want to immediately say shenanigans. But I definitely feel like something is going on. Well, that does mean that Tom Merritt is going to be going on to the next round where he will be facing Patrick Beja, who won earlier tonight over Vorel. And again, that victory seems a little suspicious. I don't know why Dunaway would throw it. I can actually see a reason why Tom would throw the match. He still has the Money in the Bank briefcase. He can still insert himself into any match he wishes. I think there's a logic there, but for Brian Dunaway to park it on the outside, maybe he legitimately got counted out. It's hard to say. We would have to ask Brian Dunaway himself. He's likely the only person who knows, and I don't think he's telling. But that is going to bring us to the next match in the women's tournament. We are going to have Fast Grandma going up against Gwen Gunn. And of course, there's another story to be told here. Fast Grandma has never won a match in all of Frog Wrestling. Not once. Is tonight the night? Will Fast Grandma pull off a victory here against Gunn? It has been a long journey for Fast Grandma. There are many who feel she is a joke. There are many who feel she is underappreciated. But Fast Grandma Fast Grandma is gonna fight. And let's see. I will say this. I often call you all out. I often say she's never won a match. She's probably not going to ever win a match.
One of the best competitors.
And I always tell you all, you always ask for her, but nobody ever puts their money where their mouth is. Fast Grandma is by far got the points backing her tonight. So at least people, 91% of the points are on Fast Grandma tonight. More people are voting for Fast Grandma tonight. So at the very least, you are putting your money where your mouth is. I don't know if it's a smart bet, but I respect that you are all trying. Fast Grandma would certainly have bragging rights if her first victory is over Gunn. Gwen has had an impressive series of matches in frog wrestling.
She knows tonight is going to be a big challenge, but if anyone is up for it, it's this woman.
People don't think Grandma's gonna pull it off. You're starting to see some doubts, some more points coming in for Gwen. I don't blame you. Gwen is a big, intimidating force. Grandma is a tiny old lady.
And with this match officially underway,
And Gwen right out of the gate with a swift kick to Grandma's face. Grandma fighting back though. Grandma not going to be put down by a single kick. It's going to take more than that. And look at the strength of Grandma. Has Gwen up. Trying to get her to tap, but Gwen punching that lady in the head. Oh, another good reversal though. Grandma fighting back. Absolutely feisty. And I think Grandma can feel your energy, feel your power. Grandma's putting up a fight here.
oh, what impact. Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Grandma right now in complete control of the match, going up to the top. What will Grandma do? A splash right on top of Gwen, who has yet to get much more than a kick in. And Grandma just absolutely in control. Gwen rolls out of the ring to try and catch her breath, but here comes Grandma. She's called Fast Grandma for a reason. She is not letting up. And Fast Grandma says she's got this all figured out. Gwen with a good dodge, though. Now Gwen looking to put on some hurt, but Grandma recovers very quickly. Oh, and such disrespect. Gwen does not care that you cheer for Grandma. And look at that.
Just stretching out the arm.
Gwen's strength definitely in the submission holds. You're getting dangerously close to count-out territory. The ref has gotten to a count of 7.
Hey guys, she's dangerous.
Gwen back in the ring and levels Grandma.
She is in a jam now.
Oh, but a big reversal. I thought Gwen was gonna have it, but Grandma showing incredible strength. She's planted Gwen and gets a 2 count.
I cannot believe she had the wherewithal. The best shot was thrown, but it couldn't put this match away. Unbelievable.
Hurricane Rana from Gwen. Gwen up, taunting fast Grandma, daring her to get closer, saying bring it on, and just levels her twice. Grandma trying to fight back. It's not enough. Gwen running over the top of her. And Gwen looking to put this one away. No, only gets a 1 count. Grandma says no disrespecting. You're going to have to do better than that. And unfortunately, it looks like Gwen is up to the task, just raking the face. And we're rolling to the outside. Gwen follows, though. And her old bones have got to be shattered at this point. Another awful rake of the face. Gwen just absolutely overpowering fast Grandma. And Gwen is not afraid to hit an old lady. The count is at 4. Gwen throwing her back in the ring. I think she's trying to get a victory here. I think she has a plan. And she's heading to the top of the turnbuckle. Off the top. And that's going to do it. The winning streak has not begun. It's another loss for fast Grandma.
Here is your winner.
One day it will be Grandma's turn, but it is not this day.
She earned this win, no question.
And it looks like Gwen will be going on to face Carter in the next round. I think that should prove to be a very interesting match as well. An interesting dynamic there between those two. Gwen could not be put away by fast Grandma. Unfortunately, fast Grandma, today was not her day. Elder abuse indeed. Star Fury Zeta, thank you for the sub. Thanks for hanging out. We are going to be going back to the men's tournament now. If you haven't already figured out, we're doing a little back and forth here between the two. And this one, we are going to see yet another There Will Be Dungeons character that made it to the next round. This time in the form of Nash Maggard of the Solar Mines, who is going to be going up against Marc Spagnuolo. And I don't know if I can think of two more bizarre, a more bizarre matchup than these two. Marc Spagnuolo, known for coming down to the ring, getting business done, and being insanely ripped and strong. Nash Maggard, known for me not thinking he will win any matches and somehow still doing it and being gross. So coming to the ring first after beating Stanley Billings in his first match, a true shock, Nash Maggard of the Solar Mines. Basically what you would get if scabs could grow legs and speak, unfortunately. I am sure some of you will throw your points away on this absolute waste of a being, but he has somehow made it to this stage. Bets are up. If you're not seeing them, make sure you refresh. Make sure you get in there. You got a little bit more time. And yeah, we got this guy. We got this got this sack of shit in the ring. I'm not sour that he won over my character last week at all. I assure you, this is just my personal commentary on what I'm seeing.
And his opponent, representing DIY.
Yeah, unbiased commentary over
Weighing in
here.
at 235 pounds, Marc S.
And look, Marc Spagnuolo had a valiant attempt at the title, nearly became Frog Pants champion. I wouldn't normally root for him as he did come after my title, but in this case, I would really like to see Marc Spagnuolo win.
A man who elevates his game every week. He is competing at his highest level yet.
Marc Spagnuolo is not one to be trifled with. Made a name for himself, being one of the first people on the roster to defeat Scott Johnson in singles combat. Now he goes up against Scott Johnson's D&D avatar.
And here we have a superstar who's been grinding his teeth at the performance center
And
as of late.
Nash Maggard already fighting. We're already seeing it.
In position to win tonight.
But don't discount the man he's facing. A man who has been counting the minutes.
Nash Maggard finding
Inside out.
an opportunity there. He's been in control of the match so far. See what Marc can do. Marc with a good reversal and trying to chop Nash down like a tree. He is successful.
Lands a knee.
And Marc's having none of it. Focusing on the hands.
The crowd's energy.
You know, I always say he's no nonsense. He's a little nonsense, willing to get in there a little bit. And now just raining down punches on Nash Maggard.
Climbing up top. He's got
I'd say they were effective, but you actually can't tell if any damage has been done to Nash Maggard's face. It already looks like hamburger. Huge! Off the top, going for a win, an early victory here. No, only gets a 1.
Superstar can do to put him away.
And Marc being very methodical so far
and he's taking
in
out a
his
persistent assault. Yeah, now he has to devise a
taking
way
down
back
of
into this.
Nash Maggard.
Pushing them aside.
Just throwing him like a baby.
Driving a knee into the arm. Check
Got
out this
Nash
power.
up
Way up.
and down.
Does he get him
Will that be enough? No, Nash rolls up Marc. Nash Maggard trying to steal a victory there. He did at least shift the momentum, not enough to get a win. Now going after Marc's face. Most people target limbs, the head, the body. Nash Maggard focusing on the mouth and jaw. Spagnuolo rolling out of the way. Another massive power bomb. And I'm surprised that Nash Maggard hasn't just exploded. And there it is. Cutting him down like a tree. Marc Spagnuolo, unsurprisingly, pulls out a big victory right there. Some people said Nash Maggard had no business even being in that match in the first place. I don't know who said it, but some people did say it. And Marc Spagnuolo moving on.
This is what you get when you have complete confidence and control of the situation.
I think it was inevitable that Marc was going to win this match. You know, I don't like to necessarily just throw around that, you know, who should and shouldn't win. But I think that, you know, I think that this tournament has righted a wrong with this victory here. I think things have resettled. I think things are back where they should be. Nash Maggard going to the back. You know, there's so much respect for him. But he's now back there with the other There Will Be Dungeons characters not participating. All right, we are heading on to the next match. That was a short one. I'm trying to recover, trying to get things moved forward here. Speaking of the Spagnuolos, our next match is Marc's wife, Nicole, is going to be going up against former Mod Syndicate member Monica Stone, aka Wicked Kitty. Wicked Kitten. Wicked Kitty is what they call her in the match. Wicked Kitten. For the longest time, Monica was without victories. Now, she has plenty of victories under her belt. Has a chance to win. But Nicole, I'm going to say this. I think Nicole stands a really good chance. Nicole has been extremely impressive ever since she sort of got a refresh. She's still, you know, recommendals Nicole, Hollywood Nicole, but has certainly put in the effort, won some big matches.
Here we go. She is ready.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing DIY from St. Louis, Missouri, the superstar Nicole S.
With the size of this superstar's ego, I have no idea how the rest of us...
Nicole has been on a incredible winning streak. Came up a little bit short in a few of the tournaments, but has still been incredibly impressive lately. Looking to get a big victory in the tournament here. Go on to the next round. But she is going to have to face off against the final girl herself, Monica Stone.
Kitty Stone.
I think this superstar is actually happy to risk their own career to help someone out. They are in the wrong business.
Corey, I happen to think that's what makes them a good person. They place a higher value on...
Monica has also undergone a sort of reevaluation ever since she left or was kicked out, depending on who you ask. The Mod Syndicate
She certainly knows how to get a reaction.
has found a new persona, a new lot in life. As chat says, recommendals versus gore. Yeah, a lot of people say she found the right pants. She picked them. And you know what? I'm not going to begrudge her that. She literally watched a YouTube video that was just showing all the potential outfits in WWE 2K23 and sent me what she wanted. That is dedication.
An opportunity to show why she's been creating such a buzz.
Although I think I still picked the sunglasses, and I think I picked the shoes, and I think I got criticized for my choices. I think they're fantastic choices. But then again, I liked the other pants, too. So what do I know? Right now, Monica, in complete control, running Nicole between the turnbuckles there. A lot of running in general. Got Nicole up, knocks her back down.
Wow, that hurt. Clearly had a strategy going on there with the attention on the leg.
And Monica in control so far of the match. Nicole looking to fight back here, finds a moment, finds an opportunity, and immediately gets Monica in a submission hold. A tap this early would be surprising, but Monica did manage to get out. Not quite enough to turn the tide of the match. There's a pin. It's a 1 count. Monica trying to keep her cool. Not thrilled. Oh, it's just a big kick right to the chest. Monica heads to the outside of the ring, but Nicole is ready for her. And Nicole now in control of the match.
Got their opponent set up.
Drop kick to the spine.
A little bit of showboating from Nicole, but a handstand to double knee to the stomach. That is not going to feel good. And Nicole trying to get the crowd on her side at the moment. Trying to rally. Now continuing to do a bit more damage on the outside. I think Nicole probably needs to focus a little more on fighting, a little less on showboating, but she is in control at the moment. Head back in the ring, although it looks like Monica was waiting for her. Took a little too long to get back in the ring, and Monica now back in control. Nope, I spoke too soon. Nicole escapes, but Monica shuts that down and is rallying. Now Nicole fighting back.
Here's a snapmare. And a basement drop kick.
Monica trying to find the energy, trying to come back, trying to get a victory. Here's a pinfall. Gets a 2 count. Nicole manages to escape. And Monica now doing a little showboating, but Nicole already back to her feet. Monica waiting for it though. Oh! And they are both exchanging blows right now. It looks like Nicole is going to come out ahead on the back side of it. Monica once again heading to the outside. We got a little game of cat and mouse playing. Looks like, lots of reversals. Monica absolutely reversing everything. Every time Nicole tries to make something happen, there is a reversal waiting.
And she slides her back to the mat.
Nicole's still appealing to the audience. Don't know if I would consider her winning, but she's still calling to him. Monica says, you want a showboat? I'll showboat too, but Nicole is in there waiting for her. A life lesson, you got to pick the right moments, and I don't know if Monica did. Nicole trying to make the most of this moment, heads to the top. She's daring Monica to get up. there is the pin after a diving DDT. Only gets a 1 count, but Nicole is still fighting.
Places her right in the corner. She is in a precarious
Monica up on the top turnbuckle. A punch to the face. I don't know what Nicole is planning, but she's planning something. They are up high. And I don't know if Monica will recover from that. But Nicole is not done. She's going to the top ropes. And that could do it. It does. Nicole from the top turnbuckle.
Let's take another look at what made that matchup so memorable.
Getting a victory. And a good night for the Spagnuolos as both Nicole and Marc are moving on in their respective brackets.
This is one I won't forget for a long time.
What a match. Let's go ahead and notate it so we know who won so that I can do the right matches next week. And let's take a look at what we have next. Next up, we're going back to our final men's match of the night. After this, it is going to be followed by our final women's match of the evening, our main event, if you will. But our next match, look, these two have fought a lot. And I got some comments. And usually when there's a comment, means there's multiple people thinking it. Just because one person said it doesn't mean they're the only person thinking it. We have had a lot of Spider Ben Bumhoffer going up against Geek Jock Dan Patriss. And I said that we were done with this match. I said it was over. Their rivalry was done. We were going to do something else. And you know what? Ben won his tournament match last week. And you know what else? Dan won his tournament match last week. And here we are. Ben versus Dan, round 4 or 5. I don't even remember how many times these two have fought. They have fought a lot. But they continue to face each other. But with this being a tournament, this is it. Whoever wins here moves on, and whoever loses, they're going to have to find another goal.
75 pounds, a Spider Ben.
Matches of this caliber with this level of talent showing their skills. This is why I do what I do.
And I have to say, just to those of you putting your points on the line, just to be clear, there has been a lot of controversy in their matches, but I don't think Ben has ever successfully beaten Dan. There have been a lot of he should haves, he could haves, he would haves. But I think Dan has come out on top every single time. Will this be the exception? This is debatably when it matters the most.
New York, weighing in at 241 pounds, Dan Patriss.
This superstar has a lot of confidence, a lot of pride, but there's also a lot of respect for their opposition tonight.
Oh, I get it. Great mind games at work.
No, Corey, just respect.
Oh, so this superstar's just an idiot. Got it.
I think this could go a completely different way if Ben had been daring enough to wear a yellow outfit to the ring.
He's physically and mentally prepared for the task at hand in his big-time match.
Ben still feeling very optimistic. Dan, they immediately face off. Once again, they have quite the history together. And Ben immediately on the offensive. These two know each other very well.
He told me earlier that he's looking to showcase some new moves in this match tonight.
And Ben going for an early pin, an early possible victory. Manages to get a 2. Don't know if that's Dan trying to catch his breath or if Ben has really already dished out enough damage there. Dan trying to catch his breath. Certainly a large onslaught to start the match. Dan now has Ben up, drops him right on the top rope. And fighting back, though. No, submission hold immediately applied. And will Ben tap? No, Ben manages to escape. Fighting back already.
He's lost some of his win now.
And you can see the aggression immediately, the history in the way these two fight against each other. But Ben has turned his back on Dan, and Dan gets him right back in the submission hold. He doesn't want any debate as to whether or not he won this match. Making Ben tap would certainly be a way to say, I won. And with a headbutt. Dan recovered quickly, though, going for a pin. Only gets a 1. But Ben still down on the floor, had just enough strength to kick out, not enough to recover. There's a big reversal, though. And Ben trying to steal a victory, taking an opportunity, gets another 2 count. And I think Dan is being thrown somewhat by Ben's tenacity so far. They are still exchanging blows here. Dan trying to build that momentum back up on his end. Trying to deal the damage that he thinks will keep Ben down. Right now he's dragging him into the middle of the ring. Again, there was certainly some controversy on Dan's first victory with Ben's foot being clearly on the ropes. The ref didn't see it. I think Dan is as interested in winning tonight as he is winning cleanly, showing everybody that he is superior. But Ben with a reversal, now he has Dan in a submission hold, trying to get him to tap, wearing him down, nope. Dan manages to escape, turns it into a toss, and Dan says, no big deal. I'll handle it. Another elbow to the back of the neck. So brutal.
Dropping the elbow right on the knee.
Oh, man. And just looking to hyperextend Ben's leg. Really ruins the agility there. A big knee to the face, and Ben is down. Nope, there's a roll-up. Ben looking to steal a victory here. Only gets a 1.
These pins to last much longer at this stage in the match.
And has Dan up, drops him on the top rope. Ben back in control of the match.
Legs are spread. Double leg drop.
And just cracking his legs apart like a wishbone.
Feel the effects of this back and forth.
Another massive power bomb. And that just absolutely kills the momentum as it just knocks the wind right out of you. And there's a second one. And Ben telling him to stay down. Dan trying to recover, finding a way to fight back somehow here. And a big DDT right onto the mat. Ben with a kick reversal though, and he's going for a pin, hoping to have stunned Dan. Not enough to get more than a 1 though. Picking Dan up just by the back of the neck. And Dan going for a clothesline. Ben reverses it though, stomping right on his head. Gets him up, slams him down, and here it is, the Spirit Powerbomb. The ref taking his sweet time on this count. Only gets a 2 count. Look, you know, not all counts are created equal. Everybody counts to 3 at their own pace, I guess.
So precise.
And Dan has managed to escape after a very generously long 2 count. And there's a curb stomp. That move has put a lot of people away, but Ben manages to escape it, and Dan cannot believe it. Ben's still fighting back after the curb stomp. And Dan trying to figure out what needs to be done to keep Ben down. Off the top, elbow drop right to the back. And Dan is saying it's over. Ben smartly rolls to the outside of the ring. He can't lose out there besides a count out. But Dan does not want to make it a time for recovery. Yeah, just unleashing punches. And another one of those elbows to the back of the neck. He talked about a count-out victory. Nope, it's not going to happen. Dan throws him back in the ring. I think Ben's bleeding at this point. And Dan's calling for it, says it's over. Ben with a reversal, though, playing a little bit of possum. And stomping on that power ring. And this is it again, another Spirit Powerbomb. Or is it a Power Spirit Bomb? I don't remember what I called it. It's a Dragon Ball Z reference. And just before the 3, Dan grabs the rope. Ben nearly had it, but Dan, at the last possible second, gets his hand on the rope and stays alive. He is somehow still fighting, and Ben is trying to figure out how to win at this stage. And back to his feet. Right back to the ground, though. Ben working out a game plan. No, a big reversal. Dan fighting back. Momentum shifting here. And Dan trying to shift this in his favor. Picking Ben up just so he can knock him right back down. Just lays him out over his knee. Ben dodging out of the way, trying to fight back, trying to fight through this. And just throws Dan like he's nothing. Spider strength on full display here. I cannot believe how hard both of these competitors are fighting for this. This is probably the best match these two have ever had, despite the fact that they've had this match many times now. But Ben does not want to repeat. He wants to finally get a victory, but Dan's trying to end it right here. Only a 2 count.
Inhuman at this point. This is truly awesome.
Dan looking to end this. Ben struggling to get to his feet. Dan's trying to put an end to the match. No, a big reversal from Ben. He wants to finally call a victory against his rival.
On the move. Picking up speed.
Is tonight his night off the ropes? And there's the 3. Just enough. And Ben has finally picked up a victory over Dan. Ben finally winning.
Here is your winner, the Spider, Ben.
You cannot say they didn't give it their all and then some to achieve this victory.
He was as on top of things as he could possibly be here tonight, and look how it paid off.
And that means that Ben is going to go on to face off against Marc Spagnuolo next week in the next round. Was a great match. It was a fantastic one. Ben did an amazing job. Finally getting a victory in that rivalry with Dan. Does that mean it's put to bed forever? We'll have to see. Both of those competitors extremely impressive, but Ben now moving forward. That is going to bring us to our main event tonight. And for those of you that were paying attention at the beginning, I did say that one of our matches was going to be a triple threat match. For the same reasons that we had one in the men's division last week. We have an odd number of competitors, which meant that someone was going to have to be added to a match. And the match chosen at random was this one. We are going to see a triple threat match between D&D's own Hope. That's Orifi Akmenos, Hope herself. Kim Johnson from Core Red and former Frog Wrestling women's champion Jocelyn Kearney, although actually Kim Johnson, former Frog Wrestling women's champion as well. So this should be a big match here. Getting it set up right now. Let's go ahead and get the prediction up. You all can start voting using your very important points to decide who's going to get it. Now, keep in mind, this is not an elimination style triple threat. This is standard rules. Whoever gets the first pinfall or submission is going to be the winner. Get everyone up here. Just gotta find them all. Where are all of them? Can't find Kim. It's in alphabetical order. You would think it would be achievable, but it's harder than you think. All right, there we go. And Jocelyn. It is no DQ as part of the triple threat. That means weapons are allowed. We are going to have to see how this goes.
The following contest is a triple threat match. Making our way to the ring, representing Road Warriors from the Wasteland. The Queen.
Talk about an intense competitor.
We have seen all of the There Will Be Dungeons characters eliminated at this point, with the exception of Hope. If any There Will Be Dungeons characters are going to make it to the next round or win a shot at the title, all of that hope lands on her. And I'm be honest, I'm a little curious how this is going to turn out. I obviously was doing some design experimentation with Hope that I saved, but was not tested because this looks a little janky and I wouldn't have kept it. I'm really hoping that Hope has closed to wrestling and that... Okay, good. She does. When I do a new outfit, I usually will copy the current one to the second slot and do experimenting on the first. I was kind of surprised. I was like, uh-oh. I don't remember finishing this outfit. I don't think this is going to turn out good, but we're fine. We are fine. Nobody's wrestling in underwear here at the moment. So, good. Kim Johnson heading down to the ring, and that is part of what is going to make this a packed match. Kim Johnson, the previous holder of the Frog Pants Women's Championship, recently lost the title to Dearest Martha. Certainly a potential favorite to win. And now Jocelyn coming down to the ring, who is also a previous Frog Wrestling champion. Jocelyn, certainly the most positive champion we've ever had.
And I don't think that attitude's going to do him any favors in there.
Two former champions and a tiefling in a triple threat match. This is set to be pretty good. Quite the main event for this evening. But only one can progress. Only one can move to the next round. And we are underway immediately. Kim and Jocelyn singling each other out. Not a surprise, as the two former champions that are in the ring. They definitely have to recognize that that's where the stronger competition is, even though one of their opponents has a robotic arm. I don't know about you, but I would usually go after whoever had the robotic arm.
There's a crucifix, nicely done.
Ah, shit breaker. What a drop kick.
Hope finding her window, but Jocelyn now taking advantage. And that's kind of what these triple threats tend to turn into. Two focus on each other while one picks their moment. And then it kind of just comes down to who picks the best moment.
Working on the arm. Lands the elbow.
And Jocelyn off the top ropes catches Kim.
Taken down.
Jocelyn
Something nefarious is beneath the ring.
working
Oh boy, come on, not the
vicious blows to Kim. Hope tried to get a chair, but got leveled as soon as she got in the ring, but the chair is still a factor. Don't discount it. Now Jocelyn looking for another weapon. She found a kendo stick. Why are they under there? I don't know. So people can try and hit each other with them. But so far, no weapons used. Lots of weapons retrieved, none used. Two boots to the face of Jocelyn, though. And Hope fighting viciously.
A steel chair. She's taking this match into even more dangerous territory.
Oh, and Hope not paying enough attention. Gets caught with the chair. Jocelyn now going for a submission hold. Hope interrupts it, though, and Jocelyn now going after her.
And look at front back suplex.
Hope finding a way to get a little control in the match. Jocelyn, though, fighting back. Going for a pin. Kim immediately breaks that up. Keep in mind, whoever gets the first pinfall is the winner. Oh, and right on top of the chair at that. There is no elimination, so you do not want to let your opponent pin somebody else. They will win and you will lose, even if you had no part in it. Oh, setting Jocelyn up. Kim trying to shake it off outside of the ring. Oh my goodness, and just like that, Jocelyn is leveled, but Kim comes in trying to take advantage of the chaos. Jocelyn finally managing to recover, but too late. Nobody available to capitalize on it. Kim now taking control and picking up a kendo stick. Nope. Gets shut down. There's a super kick from Hope. Jocelyn goes for her, I don't know what you call it. It involves a handstand. I know that. It's a patented move for her. And nobody home. Then she just kicks Kim in the face. And right now... Oh, man. Jocelyn with a roll-up, and Kim not going to let that happen. She's watching. Goes for the kendo stick. Kendo stick delivered to Jocelyn's head. And Kim threatening more violence, but Hope is ready to get in the thick of it. The kendo stick now in Hope's hands, and Jocelyn steals it, turns the tables. And now Jocelyn utilizing the kendo stick. Massive headbutt to Kim. Those horns can't feel good in a headbutt. Oh, submission hold. And Hope is ready to interrupt before Jocelyn gets a chance to tap out. But Hope in absolute control in the middle of the ring. Jocelyn to the outside. And Hope just throws Kim into the air with a pinfall. Now she's going for a submission hold. Jocelyn not free to break it up. If Kim taps, this is the end. Jocelyn trying to get in, trying to break it up, and manages to before Kim can tap out. Jocelyn possibly saving her chance of winning this match. Hope might have had it, but Kim managed to hang on just long enough. Kim leveling Hope, now focusing on Jocelyn. This is exactly what she needs to do. She's planted both of them. Hope is out, Jocelyn is down, and there's the pin as Kim Johnson levels both of her opponents to pick up a victory. What a statement she just made.
Here is your winner, the Queen, Johnson.
The WWE Universe showing appreciation.
Kim moving on. Kim will be going up against Nicole Spagnuolo next week.
With one breaking away from the pack in the most dominant way possible. What a match. What a win.
A huge victory for Kim as we start to get an idea of what the landscape is going to be. Let me just read through what we are going to see. One of these four competitors are going to be challenging Dearest Martha for the Frog Pants Women's Champion. Next week, we are going to see Carter Johnson versus Gwen Gunn. And we are also going to see Nicole Spagnuolo versus Kim Johnson. Whoever wins those matches will go on. And from there, we're going to see who's going to be challenging Dearest Martha on the men's side. Next week, we are going to see Patrick Beja versus Tom Merritt. And we are going to see Marc Spagnuolo versus Ben Bumhoffer. One of those 4 competitors is going to be challenging John Jagger for the title. That's what we have to look forward to, but that is all the time we have for tonight. As these match numbers get lower and lower, there will, of course, be other matches to be seen. We're going to have a little more freedom to do more than just the tournament. But for tonight, that is all the time we have. I thank you all so much for being here. Those of you who bet your points and had fun with that, participated in it. Those who liked, subscribed, did all the things. I really appreciate you, and I will catch you next week for more Frog Wrestling. Till then, bye, everybody.